A beautiful evening to you, and welcome to yet another moment of Sports Extra right here on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Emmanuel Michael. Glad to be here to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings in the world of sports. But the key focus is about the UEFA Champions League because the UEFA Champions League is going to light up our TV screen tonight as match day 6 makes a return. And the big one is about Mo Salah because he's been left out of the Liverpool traveling squad ahead of a tonight clash against Inter Milan amid, breaking down relationship between him and the coach. We'll take you through that as well and some other big stories revolving around the world of sport. But the core focus is about the UEFA Champions League. I'll take a quick break. When I'm back, we'll set sail on the show this evening. All right, you're welcome back from that short break. Kingsley is here this evening as we take a look at some of the interesting sporting stories that we have for you. Kingsley, good evening and welcome to Sport Extra.
Yeah, Mike, nice to be here this evening. Thanks for having me.
All right, nice to be here indeed. There's some big stories popping up from the world of sport. But let's start from the home scene because Rivers United technical advisor Finidi George has expressed dissatisfaction with his team's draw against Abia Warriors. The Pride of Rivers were held to 1-1 draw by Abia Warriors in Umuahia on Sunday. Macklin Bioko gave Rivers United the lead in the 87th minute before Suraj Lawal equalized for Abia Warriors in added time. Finidi George believes his team has much to do in the area of game management after that draw. I want to agree less with Finidi George that the team has a lot to do in terms of game management. After taking that lead, we thought maybe Rivers United were going to come out with all 3 points, but then they allowed the home team to draw level. They are now seated third on the log, but then they should have even surpassed the second place team right now if they had won that game.
I think for me, what's been happening shows that Rivers United are not really that of a good team this season. looking at how poor they've been in the CAF Champions League and how they are struggling in the Nigerian Premier Football League. They are not really top-notch, and I think Finidi has a lot of work to do to make sure that they stand tall if they really compete and they really want to compete for the title. This is a season where the big teams are not really in form, likes of Remo Stars. You talk about Enugu Rangers, Eyimba Football Club. They are not really in form. I think this is an opportunity where Rivers United, of course, should have capitalized and see how far they can go in terms of winning the title. Yes, of course, you may say there are still more games to be played. All right, more points for them, and they still have outstanding games, as it's time. But you have to utilize your chances. If you continue to struggle, you draw today, you lose tomorrow, and all of that, it doesn't place you in a very good position in terms of contending, for the title. You have to be up and doing, and that's what Rivers United, of course, should be doing at this point in time, looking at the fact that their chances of qualifying for the group stage of the CAF Champions League is very, very slim. Then they should be able to channel their energy, down to the league and see what, of course, they can do, at the end of the day. For me, I think a whole lot of work to do, and I think Finidi should try to step up, because if at the end of the day the team did not do well, he's going to be the one to blame. At the end of the day, he's the coach. So he should not come out and say the players this, the players that. I think everyone will point fingers at him if Rivers United fails to perform, up to expectation this season.
Rivers United will certainly, not be faulted, but then the head coach, which is Finidi George, I think he should, of course, know how to solve the challenge of not being able to see off game or game management per se. And of course, see how he can fight for the title this season after missing out narrowly to the eventual winners. They're talking about Remo Stars, especially just like Kingsley said, most of the top teams are not informed. The likes of Enugu Rangers, they are just gradually picking up. Enyimba, nowhere near contenders this season. Kano Pillars, rocking the bottom of the table. The likes of Ikorodu City, maybe, just maybe, as the season progresses, you expect them to give a fight. But the top teams, even Remo Stars, the defending champion, they are not doing pretty well at all. So I think it's time for Rivers United to lay their hands on the title this season. But the way Finidi George and his boys has been, somehow shaky whenever they play either away from home or home ground. They find it difficult to score goals, to see off games, and I think this is what Finidi George needs to work on so that he will give them that edge to contend for the title this season. But then we can tell you that courtesy of that draw, Rivers United are now third in the league table with 2 outstanding games to play. So we believe that they are going to take full advantage of these 2 extra games and see how to move to the top of the league table. All right, let's talk about the upcoming African Cup of Nations, because the Confederation of African Football, CAF, and the local organizing committee have unveiled the official mascot for the Total Energy CAF African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025, named Assad. Assad means lion. The tournament will commence on Sunday, December 21st, 2025, and end on Sunday, January 18th, 2026. According to Monday release on the CAF website, Assad is inspired by Atlas lions, one of Morocco's most iconic national symbols, and a unifying and powerful figure across the African continent. His name, meaning lion, is Arabic, embodies strength, pride, and cultural authenticity that resonates deeply with fans both in Morocco and throughout Africa. CAF highlighted that as an ambassador for the tournament, Assad embodies the joy, passion, and energy that define Africa's most prestigious football competition. On Assad's design, CAF said, and I quote, "His visual identity centers on friendly, youthful, lion, and of course, so many other creative and diversifying, culture of Africa. So the AFCON mascot is out, and it's tagged Assad, meaning lion. According to CAF, it identify or signify unity, strength, and of course it embodies the culture of Africa. You think a good name tag for the mascot?
What it is, but in whichever way, of course, we're going to accept it, and try to move on. The most important thing, of course, in the game, and of course, you cannot take away the culture. All right, it's an African tournament. Morocco, they are the hosts, so they're also going to put out their culture out there. Remember the last time, of course, Cameroon hosted theirs. We saw how colorful it was. So the African culture, the African color. They also brought lions as well, because they are also they also use lion as their own symbol and all of that. So it's actually a very, very good one. We look forward to see how the opening ceremony, of course, is going to look like, because I think all of this, symbol and mascot thing, of course, we will really see the display, in the opening ceremony. So look how colorful, this one, of course, it will be. And trust Morocco, they know how to do their thing. When it comes to the sports, I think they are top-notch now in Africa. So we look forward to see a very, very interesting opening ceremony, and see how, of course, they continue to portray the African culture in this African Cup of Nations.
All right, the mascot for the AFCON 2025 is out, tagged Assad, meaning lion. It's a unifying factor to African football, and more like a means of trying to, of course, bring all the culture and unify all sundry from different countries right here in Africa. Just like teams have also started filing out their 27-man squad, and for Super Eagles, the 55-man provisional list has not been trimmed down by Eric Chell, and we are still waiting to see and evaluate his final shortlist. But for now, it is a provisional 55-man squad, which will certainly be trimmed down to 27. We are still waiting, while some other countries that is in our group have also hit Morocco for early preparation ahead of the African Cup of Nations. All right, let's head straight to Europe, and we stop at England, because the FA Cup, third round took place yesterday, as FA Cup holder Crystal Palace will face a non-league side, Macclesfield, in the third round after the draw that took place on Monday evening. On the full draw, we see likes of Wolves play host to Strasbourg, while Doncaster Rovers will play host to Southampton. Aston Villa also play Tottenham in all English Premier League team affairs, while Port Vale will play host to Fleetwood. Preston North End will trade tackles against Wigan, while Ipswich Town will play Blackpool, while Draxham will play Nottingham Forest, and Charlton Athletic will play Chelsea, while Manchester City will play Exeter. West Ham will play Queen's Park Rangers, while Sheffield Wednesday will play Brentford. Fulham will play Middlesbrough, while Everton will play host to Sunderland. Liverpool will play Barnsley. Burnley against Millwall. Norwich will play Walsall. Bournemouth against Arsenal. Derby County against Leeds United. Swansea City will trade tackles against West Brom. Salford against Sweden Town, while Boham will play Brackley or Buttock. Grimsby will play Western Supermall, while Hull will play Blackburn. Newcastle United in all English Premier League affair will be at home in the first leg against Bournemouth, while MK Dons will play host to Oxford in that very one. These are some of the fixtures in the FA Cup that took place last night. We also see teams like Leicester City in action as well. Birmingham City play Bristol City. while Stoke City will play Coventry City. Maxfield will play Crystal Palace, the defending champion, while Manchester United will be in action against Brighton and Hove Albion. Sheffield United will play host to Mansfield. These are some of the fixtures that came up after the draw yesterday, talking about the FA Cup third round draw. But then let's head straight to Spain, because Real Madrid's 3-0 win at San Mamés Stadium seems to have calmed the stormy waters surrounding the team. But it is turned out to be nothing more than an illusion in the midst of a crisis that became irreparable after Sunday's collapse against Celta Vigo at the Santiago Bernabéu. The defeat to the Galician side, combined with the team's poor performance, has left one person clearly in the spotlight, which is Xavi Alonso. Xavi Alonso, as we speak, Kingsley is under the radar. His position is very, very shaky as he faces an imminent sack. The reason, according to report emanating from Spain, why he's still there is because of the match against Manchester City tomorrow. If not, report from major sources say that he would have been sacked immediately after that 2-0 defeat they suffered at home. But for Xavi Alonso, is it not too early to start talking about the sack, or you think the poor results and the way he has been able to ignore Madrid key players in the likes of Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, is more like the problem for him?
I think a whole lot, happening down there at Real Madrid. Xavi Alonso, this is his fourth season. For me, I think you should be giving time. No matter what is happening at the moment, you should be giving time. Maybe we should actually see what, of course, he will be able to do before the season comes to an end. If Madrid doesn't finish in a comfortable position, the board will be right enough to lay him off, at the end of the day. So for me, I think no matter the poor results, coming in at this point in time, the board should give him time. Though Real Madrid is a big team, it's not a team where you come to gamble or maybe do experiments. You are to deliver at every point in time because of the level of competition between them and FC Barcelona, and because of their pride as European, champions. You have to, of course, deliver. I think Xavi was actually being taken due to his impressive performance with Bayer Leverkusen, and they thought he was going to, of course, continue that, But taking a look at the Real Madrid side, they are a side that needs some level of twerking a bit. I think we even saw that deteriorating state of the team during when Ancelotti was there. Ancelotti was just being able to manage it and left it for, Xabi Alonso. And Xabi Alonso is not bearing all the burden, at this point in time. So the Madrid team really, really need, of course, a setup. The coming in of Kylian Mbappe has really changed things at Madrid. Don't forget, when Mbappe was not at Real Madrid, all right, and Carlo Ancelotti was there, we saw that chemistry down there between the likes of Vinicius Junior and the rest of the players. They had a very good game pattern. They played very well. That's why they were able to win the UEFA Champions League and had a very impressive performance under Carlo Ancelotti. But since Mbappe came, things has really, really changed. The team now trying to see how to play to the gallery of Kylian Mbappe. So the coach must look for a way to see how to balance things, and that's what Xabi Alonso is currently undergoing at this point in time. So, for me, I think he should be given time. Yes, it was a very, very poor result against Cadiz over the weekend. How will you allow Cadiz beat you? I think 2-0.
Celta Vigo.
Celta Vigo in that encounter. It's totally a result we all expected. If you can't be able to beat them, is it Manchester City that you beat in the UEFA Champions League? A lot of questions, of course, to be asked at this point in time. So I just believe that Xabi Alonso will be able to pick up the pieces and see what, of course, he can do going forward.
Troubling time for the Spaniard. They're talking about Xavi Alonso, who is under immense pressure to win the game against Manchester City, which comes up tomorrow, which is the UEFA Champions League. So big pressure for the man. Is it time for him to go? Will it be the right decision for him to go? considering the fact that they just brought him in this season. The season has not yet ended and the pressure is piling. Some have said this is the nature and it is characteristics of the person, yes, of Real Madrid president talking about Florentino Perez, because he always wants to be at the top, and when things are not going well for Madrid side, the coach becomes the first casualty. But then we see how all of this will pan out in the next few weeks. Certainly, we'll have a concrete, idea of where the whole thing is going to land. Xavi Alonso and Real Madrid. If the relationship is going to be terminated, is that marriage going to end very soon? We'll just wait and see. But at this point, we'll take a quick break. When we are back, yes, we focus to the core discourse, which is the UEFA Champions League. There are some games that is currently ongoing as we speak right now, as the likes of Karet Amate is in action. But we'll do it to take you through that result as well when we are back from this short break. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back from that short break. Kingsley is still here. Together we are bringing you up to speed with the latest happenings in the world of sport. But the vocal point is the UEFA Champions League, as we can tell you that after weekend defeat in the Italian Serie A, Atalanta, yes, at the Gewish nursing some form of injury per se. It's not 100% fit. So the manager Enzo Maresca confirmed the English forward is being read as part of his recovery from a spell of injury. Palmer was sidelined initially by a groin injury and then for an extra week after at home. A 23-year-old made his first start for the Blues in September in Saturday's goalless draw against Bournemouth. So tonight, Kingsley, Atalanta lost their last Serie A game, and Chelsea were held to goalless draw by Bournemouth. They will be going for all 3 points tonight at the Gewish Stadium. This Chelsea, many have said they are consistently inconsistent. Against Atalanta.
I think it's going to be a difficult one for Chelsea, looking at the fact that they don't even have one of their key men, talking about Cole Palmer. It further makes put up the fact that it might be a difficult one for them. Atalanta, they have a very good weekend, so they want to, of course, redeem themselves, this time around, of course, in the UEFA Champions League, and so it's going to be a difficult one. I'm not really happy with the way Chelsea they've been so far this season. We saw them, 2 weeks ago, putting up a very impressive performance against Barcelona, came up against Arsenal, had a good outing. So what really happened in the last 3 games? They've not, of course, been able to put up a very impressive performance. That should tell you that, there's a whole lot, around, the team as it stands. There have been issue of Enzo Maresca not having, of course, his first 11, always rotating the team, at this point in time. And I still wonder why. To say, this is my main, except otherwise, this is the team I'm going to use, for a particular, encounter. It's still not a very good one. And at the end of the day, if at least of winning a title to say, I think Enzo Maresca will be the one to blame, because he has not really proven himself. We've not really seen that tactical masterclass, from him. Taking a look at the way he started with his side, very well, won trophies, but at this point in time, Enzo Maresca should be dominating. He should be putting up a very impressive performance with the Chelsea side, but the reverse has been the case. So I just hope that in tonight's encounter against Atalanta, who are also like a wounded lion, looking at the fact that they had a very bad weekend, will be coming out, for them. So it will be a cagey one. We'll just look forward to see how it goes.
Look forward to see how it goes. Meanwhile, we can tell you that the full fixtures, that is so to light up as TV screen is Karet Amati, who is currently in action against Olympiacos. 55 minutes played so far. It is still zeros. Bayern Munich tonight by 5:45 p.m. Yes, that game is currently on as we speak. Also play their host. Why Atlanta, like we told you, would host Chelsea Football Club by 8 p.m. Barca welcome Eintracht Frankfurt by 8 p.m. as well. Inter Milan, in a big clash, will be at home at the San Siro to welcome Liverpool by 8 p.m. Monaco versus Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray by 8 p.m. as well. PSV and Oven will play host to Atletico Madrid by same time. Tottenham Hotspur against Slava Prague Union Saint-Gilloise will welcome Olympique de Marseille by 8:30 p.m. But Kingsley, there is a very, very big issue because Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah plays in the Liverpool's traveling squad for today's game. Yes, he's in doubt because he did not travel with the squad, with the club's official holding internal discussions following the
There's a whole lot happening around the team. The players' mindsets are not really that, calm. For me, point, in that encounter. But anything could happen. It's a game of football. Liverpool might just want to show up themselves, on him at this point in time. A lot of pressure, a lot of expectation from outside.
Talk about the exclusion of Salah in the team due to the row between him and, of course, the coach and the board going by the interview he granted after he was benched in the last games for Liverpool. Do you think that Mo Salah time at Liverpool is over?
If you look at it, it's looking like that. It's looking like that, if you ask me, because the man is not happy at the moment. I think Mo Salah feels that for what he has done for Liverpool, they should treat him like a king and not to treat him as if, he's not that of a big player, as his time. He said something. He said he wanted to leave the last transfer window. But they begged him.
With a lot of promises.
With a lot of promises. Please stay, play for us. We'll do this, we'll do that. But at the end of the day, this is the season where they have to fulfill all of those promises, and Mo Salah is now being benched. So the man is not happy, as he stands. But they're looking at the fact that, yes, okay, some are saying he's not on a very good form, he's not performing very well, and all of that, and that he should be benched. And Ancelotti, of course, has to put him on the bench for about 3 games now, and the man, of course, is not happy. And if you want to look at it, maybe there are other things that possibly has made Liverpool to perform this poor. Maybe not not Mo Salah. So he could also say, why are other players not living up to expectation? Virgil van Dijk, Konate, and the rest of them, they are not firing. Just like the way we saw them, of course, in our last season. So what could be the problem? So if you take a look at it, it looks like a general thing. Most of the players are not informed, and all of that. Not only Mo Salah. And the man is saying, I shouldn't be treated this way. The one will say, okay, come on, the team is not performing well. Mo Salah, you should be able to, embrace whatever comes so that the team, of course, will move forward. The team moves forward, you move forward. You move forward, the team also move forward, as a stand. So one will expect Mo Salah to portray spirit of sportsmanship and try to embrace whatever he sees and see what, comes up. He's not going to stay at Liverpool forever at this point in time, all right? So it's really, really a dicey situation at this point. I just hope that maybe the board will look for a way to put things right, because as it stands now, Mo Salah is not in good terms with the board. Is not in good terms with the coach of the side. When you're not in good terms with your coach, how will you be happy playing for that team? How will you be happy playing for the coach? All right, and you're already seeing the coach as an enemy. Doesn't want your progress, as it stands. So if you ask me, is it the end of Mo Salah at Liverpool? I think it's almost the end at this point, because the man has said so many things. He said the game against Brighton, which comes up this weekend, might be his last. That if he goes to the African Cup of Nations, he's not sure of coming back to Liverpool. So there's a whole lot at this point in time to tell you that Salah's mind is made up to leave Liverpool.
If you have agreed that, when the team is not getting a good result, then Mo Salah shouldn't be singled out as an scapegoat. There are other senior players in the team like Virgil van Dijk, Konate, Cody Gakpo, Zoboslai, of course, McAllister. So if the team is not doing well, why should Salah be singled out more like an scapegoat? With that, do you think that Salah is right in his outburst on the media?
The thing is, I don't think Salah was just being singled out. He was tired of, I think he got frustrated. He was angry about it, why he was benched, and came out and said he's not happy. The coach did not say Salah is the reason why we're having...
No, and that is what I'm saying, that he was benched for 3 games. Why were other players, senior players in the team, not benched if the team is not doing very well? Because deciding to bench only one man, it means that he has been singled out, more like an scapegoat.
It might be the new approach of the coach to want to see how the team will look like. All right, it's not that we can be alleging at this point in time to say, and Slots maybe is pointing fingers at Salah to say it's the problem of the team. We can be alleging. The coach might decide to bench him and say, okay, stay on the bench, let me see what others can do. Yes, he's a key player and all of that. All right, so for me, he was not really being singled out, but Salah was not happy with the situation, and he came out to say, maybe he possibly felt this coach has something against me. All right.
Of course, he said that somebody wants him out of the club, but it wasn't specific to say whether the coach or the board or anybody at all.
So you might possibly feel the fact that this coach is not happy. He's not happy about my stay in the team. So it's time for me to leave, and that's why probably he has actually come out, of course, to voice out to say that he's not happy with the situation of things, and of course, he has to leave at this point in time. So. I don't think he was actually being singled out, to be the problem. I think Salah does maybe have, take a look at the body language of the team, maybe the coach, and maybe possibly come to conclusion that maybe they don't want me anymore, and it's time for me to leave.
All right, taking a look at how the table stand in the UEFA Champions League, Inter Milan are seated 4th. Liverpool are in 13th position. And this new Swiss format is that from first team to 9, you qualify automatically. From 9 to 24, you go for playoff. Do you see Liverpool seated 13th on the table right now, being among the first 8-9 teams that is going to qualify automatically?
I don't think so. I think they might be going through playoff. All right, they might be going through playoff. The game against Inter Milan, like I said, I don't think they can. The highest they can get in that game is a draw. I don't see them winning that encounter. All right, I don't see Liverpool winning that game. So I don't think they will get that automatic qualification. Liverpool might be going through the next round of the competition, via playoff. Especially when you take a look at the fact that somehow the psychology of the team is not really stable. So there's a whole lot of distraction at this point in time, and there's a whole lot of work for Anslot to do. Anslot might just be
the team, and he was healthy environment in the locker room. I can tell you that for sure. Away from that, Manchester City manager Pep Joseph Salah Guardiola has won his players ahead of his side UEFA Champions League clash with Real Madrid on Wednesday night, which is tomorrow. Guardiola warned his players that Santiago Bernabeu won't be an easy place to play. The Spaniard spoke following his side Premier League 3-0 win against Sunderland at the weekend. In that very one. So Real Madrid, who were defeated 2-0 against Celta Vigo in the La Liga, will host the Citizens in the UEFA Champions League midweek, which is Wednesday. And before we leave, let's serve you some of the results that took place last night in some of the leagues in Europe, because Manchester United beat Wolves 4-1 in that account. In the Italian Serie A, we saw Pisa lost at home to Parma 1-0, while Udinese also were beaten at home by Genoa 2-1. Torino, yes, narrowly lost to AC Milan 3-2. While in the La Liga, Osasuna beat Levante 2-0. These are some of the big results that came to us last night in some of the top leagues in Europe. But then time is gradually ticking against us. Kingsley, before we leave tonight, can you give us your prediction? Inter Milan against Liverpool, Napoli against Chelsea. Atlanta against Chelsea.
I think Atlanta-Chelsea might be a draw. Inter Milan will beat Liverpool 2-0.
Wow, Inter to beat Liverpool 2-0, and that means the woes of Ancelotti will definitely be compounded. We'll see how it goes. But this night, 8 p.m.
Possibly Salah might be justified tonight. Yes.
All right.
He will say, I'm not. You say I'm not the problem.
True. All right. This is where we drop the anchor for this evening edition of the show. We do well to return tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. to 8, when we'll bring you yet another bumper package. And of course, the result of all the UEFA Champions League games tonight will come your way tomorrow morning when we make a return. Our sport extraordinaire for today goes to no other person than Bruno Fernandes, because he has had more goals contribution in the last 5 English Premier League games, more than any other players for this season as we speak. So he is our sport extraordinaire for this evening edition of the show. I did a show alongside Kingsley Emmanuel. My name is Emmanuel Michael, the Prime Minister of the Airwaves, and we are saying have a very beautiful evening ahead.
Thank you.